It started off, not just in the streets, but especially like, just like any other drug in society, it ends up in prison too. So as time continued to progress, just like anything else, people get worse and get creative, and the people are making the stuff. So I don't know if they got this chemical and they're putting it on like whatever, literally grass or oregano or anything they can get their hands on, whatever. I think it's just the chemical that gets the people high. Whole point I'm getting at is that twag, that tune, that poison is flooded in the chain gang. And honestly, it's probably like the drug of choice in the prison system, that twag. So listen, man, this stuff gets people like super high. I cannot stress it enough. I'm talking about if you go to some prisons to where like it's flooded and even like the administration may not care or they really can't do nothing about it. Yo, there's literally people twacking everywhere. I'm talking about like sometimes I walk into the chow hall, you just see people like, it literally looks like zombie land. Like people are twacking everywhere. Like everybody's like high on this twack. People curled up on the bunks. People laying under the bunks. People throwing up everywhere. Throw up all over themselves. Just like paralyzed, twitching. People falling out, dying. Having the medicals going everywhere. Taking them on a stretcher. Taking the outside medical. Stuff is crazy, man. It gets people super high. But it's not, doesn't last long. Some of it doesn't have like long hang time, but it gets people crazy high. So of course, like in the chain game, man, you got a lot of dope boys, man. So you got a lot of people, they're just trying to run that bag up and find an avenue, find a lane to where they can, get that dope in there and they can make a killing. You know what I mean? Just, you got your big players, you know what I mean? They're selling like a lot of it, getting a lot of money. And just like on the streets, you got the big dope boys and you got the guys nickel and diamond. Same thing in the chain gang. You got guys like who find the routes and they're making big plays and they're supplying like the whole pound. And then you also got the guys who are just, just hustling off the little trickle effect. You know what I mean? They're just nickel and diamond so they can fill up their locker with food and they can, take care of themselves and not depend upon their family or their homies or their friends, whoever, to send them money, and they can take care of themselves or even send money home. So it's a hustle. And then you also got your users. You know what I mean? You got the guys who just casually use, you know what I mean? Like they get high every once in a while or maybe, once a week or once a month or whatever recreationally, and they got control over it. But then you got the other guys that, I mean, they're straight junkies. I'm talking about they're selling every chicken tray. They're selling their free phone calls. Anything they get their hands on, they're stealing, they're lying, they're manipulating, they're finessing, doing homosexual activity, whatever they can do to get that next sack so they can get high because they are in junkie mode. Guys are cleaning out cells, they're making beds, they're doing laundry, they're washing boxers, whatever they can do to get that next sack. But also just remember this, man. Anything that goes on in society, like like that same the same system pretty much is in the chain gang. It may look different, obviously, because of being in prison. The context is different, but it's like you got dope boys on the streets or big time dope boys and small time dope boys. Same thing in the chain gang. You got guys making big plays, guy making little plays. You know what I mean? Same thing on the street when it comes to people who use. You got people who use occasionally, and then you got the straight fiends. Same thing in prison. You got people who use occasionally, and you got the junkies who are junked out to the maximum. See, but one thing about this twag, bro, is it kills a lot of people. I remember, man, this one time I was at this prison and there was this batch of dope that was going around and it was called that black. Now, this black was killing everybody. I remember in 1 month, no exaggeration, 1 month, 8 people died on the pound behind this batch of dope. And you know what the crazy thing about it was? Is like the people who like the fiends, the junkies who like love twag, who love tunchi, and that's all they want to do is smoke, this crazy poison, this chemical. That's what they want. You know what I mean? Like I literally like seen one of my homies who was like junked out. Like the moment he heard somebody died, like the next thing he's doing whenever he gets outside the dorm, he's like, hey, hollering for somebody from the other side of the pound. Hey, I need that black. Where that black at? Like, bro, like this stuff is killing everybody. And he wants that. because he knows how strong it is, man. It's crazy. It's a sickness. And these people, like, the stronger it is, the more they want it, even though they know it's killing people. I'm talking about it's dropping people. And the main way that people die, I mean, to my knowledge, is like they choke on their throw up. So normally, like, they got smoking buddies. You know what I mean? Like, they get high together and they try to, like, help prevent each other from choking on their throw up. It's crazy, man. But I literally know somebody personally who had a life sentence, won his appeal, gave his life sentence back, was about to go home in 2 years. He was down for 15 years, overturned his life sentence, was about to go home in 2 years. But he went to confinement. When he was in confinement, he got a sack of the black and he choked on his throw up and he died in his confinement cell. Sad, dog. Crazy. All behind that 12.